add you in now to join. There you go. And it kind of tells you a little bit more about yourself, and it's surprising to find all of these things out about yourself through your face and go, oh my gosh, I never knew that about myself. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad. Thank you for joining me. I am so excited to do this. I've been looking forward to it all day.
Thank you. I'm excited and very nervous, but I'm excited.
Well, first things first, everything that comes of this is of a positive nature. So, hey guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. This is Lucy-Ann. She's going to be with me today, and we're going to read her face and share with you what some of these features mean. She's a gorgeous lady, first of all. Take a look at her. You're welcome. And what I see in your face initially is what grabs me is the softness of it. You have an oval shaped face, kind of similar to mine. You have a little bit of a widow's peak. All of your features are very soft, and that is indicative of water. And water means to just be. It's a beautiful thing. If you think about what water does and how it moves, it ebbs and it flows, and it is strong and it is beautiful. If you think about all the elements, there's 5 in Chinese face reading. There's water, there's fire, there's earth, there's metal, and there's wood. And we all tend to have a little bit of them, and some are more dominant features than others. But when I look at your face, the 2 most dominant features and 2 most dominant elements that come are water and metal. And so, like I said, water ebbs and it flows, and water is the strongest of all of the elements. You put anything up against water over time, water will win every time over the long haul. You put a rock, and you think about like the Grand Canyon, right? Water flowing through that, it will just erode it, wear it down over time. So God bless the person that ever tries to come up actually against you and or your willpower. You will have a depth of willpower. The other thing that water does is it moves, right? It moves. Water gets in through the cracks. And if anything has a tiny hole, water's going to make its way through. So whether that's in business or in relationships, it's almost like where there's a will, there's a way. Water will always make its way through, and it will always be there and be present. And that is its nature. It means to be. And so that's a beautiful thing that I see within your face. That's designated and made aware by the shape of your face. So kind of that beautiful oval shape. Your features are all very soft. You don't have any harsh pointed features. There's no like hard angles on your face at all. And you've got what we got like right through here a little bit. That's normal. So even when you smile, go ahead and smile. We'll see that, yep, you get the nice little circles right there. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. People that have a lot of water in their nature, they tend to be very emotional, and they may not be emotional on the surface, but they have a very deep set of emotions, and being in that for other people is they're feelers. So actually both of the elements of your face, water and metal, you're a feeler. And whether you express that outwardly or not, that is a big part of the constitution insofar as the elements. How does that sound or resonate with you so far?
100%.
Isn't that neat? Just so far the features of your faces, that's what's coming across. And water people are they're very deep. They love to read. Water people tend to be very creative. So whatever it is that you're doing, there has to be an element of creativity, or you will find a way to make it creative, even if it's a mundane task. In order for you to get through it and flow through it, you've got to find a way. Is that true for you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. my husband is nodding his head to all of it.
So it's really cool how those features, they share that with somebody. So if you don't mind, can you push your hair behind your ear? And if you can, turn sideways for me. So, and then go ahead and back forward. Great. So if you guys take a look, you'll see that Lucy-Ann's ears lay fairly close to her head. And what that means is that she's a great listener. She's a really, really good listener. And being that she's a person who has a lot of water and even metal in her element, it means that she will be able to be present with somebody and literally be with them in the emotion. You won't necessarily get completely swept away by their emotion, but we call it in healing areas holding space. You're the person that somebody is going to feel comfortable to coming to, either with their troubles or when they really just need an ear to bare their soul. They're going to come to you. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a gift. And there's probably times when, you know, in the busyness of life and hustle and bustle, maybe that could feel like a little bit of a curse. And that's the only thing about that, is knowing that you've got to have a boundary, because you're such a good listener and because you want to nurture and flow with people and not make waves and be like a typhoon kind of thing. There's a very softness to your face and your features. You're going to have to be clear with your boundaries. There are other features in your face that will echo the same sort of thing. You've got a nice strong jaw as well too. So when you make up your mind to do something, and your chin is also a water element. When you make up your mind to do something, you're going to be pretty set in your way about doing it and how you're going to go about doing it. So that's a good thing. It's a stick-to-itiveness. Your chin doesn't stick out like when we look at your profile from the side. If you go ahead and turn sideways so we can show the rest of our viewers. If you turn sideways so that we see your profile like this, you'll be able to see that her chin doesn't stick out super far, which means she's not going to absolutely impose her will on everybody else. Her strong chin and her strong jaw means that when she makes beautiful, thank you. So if you have a look, you see she's got a nice strong jaw. And it means that when she makes up her mind, she's made up her mind. But she's not going to force her opinions on everybody else. That's just what she's decided is true for her, and she's going to stay the course on her own path. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So it's amazing, right? When you go, oh my gosh, how is this even possible that all these things can show up for us? So I'll point out a couple other features for you. I did notice if you smile, you also have metal features. So your features, there you go. You have the same sort of cheeks that I do. And I pointed this out in one of my other videos. It's called bossy cheeks. And metal, the element metal means to refine. And metal is all about creating beauty and order and harmonious spaces, harmonious relationships. They don't like things to be in disorder. Somebody who has a large amount of metal in their system will walk into a place and they'll notice if something is off center, if it's crooked, if it's this or that. And it's not because they're being mean and picking on anything. It's because if that one thing goes right, they can go, ah. There's a sense of order and rightness, I guess, to the situation.
Yes.
So your features are widely spaced. So your eyes are nice and far apart. There's a good amount of space between all the features. That also shows that you have that metal tendency. Now, if metal gets too heated or too cold, that can be an issue either way. So if you get too hot, you're going to drip, right? And if you get too cold, metal gets frigid and kind of stuck. So the only thing to be aware of is that if you go overboard with your chi in one direction or the other, you could feel a little tendency towards OCD. It's not uncommon for somebody who has a little bit of a metal tendency to be like, oh my God, I cannot handle clutter anywhere. It's okay if the clutter's in the drawer, but it can't be out for people to see because you can feel the energy of it. You're totally nodding your head.
Yes. Yes.
You're like, yes. That's a very common association of people with metal. They just can't handle clutter. It interferes with their energy. And both of those elements, both water and metal, are highly sensitive. Very, very highly sensitive to their emotions, to their environment, to other people. And so I call it temperature taking. They're constantly taking the temperature of the environment and of the people they're with because they really want everything to be harmonious. And so the other thing that metal does is it wants to beautify, it wants to refine, it wants to make everything just artistically beautiful. So I wouldn't be surprised if in your job or career or profession that it involved making things beautiful or being creative and refining things, whatever that is. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, that sounds exactly right, actually.
Isn't that cool? And it's just the features of your face that tell you that, right?
Yeah.
And so your eyebrows are like mine. They're kind of high up and off of the eyelid. And what that means is that you have a sense of regality, like regal, like a queen. You probably, when you walk, you don't walk slumped over and hunched over. You probably walk with a certain degree of regal. You have a carriage. And people will notice that when you walk into a room. And you probably get told, yes, you're beautiful all the time, but the energy that you carry with you, people will probably tell you, you could wear a potato sack and you'd still be like having this queen energy about you. Yeah?
That sounds, Okay, yes.
It's so cool. It's always amazing when people are like, oh my God, how is this even, how is this coming through? It does. And it doesn't matter what you wear. That's just the energy of it. So we call that a queen's eyebrows when they're higher off of the eyelid like that. And of course, you've got amazing brows. Were they longer? Do you kind of like trim them a little bit? Were they longer? Were the hairs of the eyebrows long? Or were they thicker?
Oh, thicker.
Okay.
I actually do eyebrows for a living.
So you make things beautiful. And your metal nature tending toward perfection means that you won't want to stop until it's just right.
Yes.
So
yes.
your clients are blessed. They're coming to the right person for the job.
Thank you.
Literally.
Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. So that even shows up in your profession. And
yes.
the eyebrows are also wood energy. So if they were fuller or thicker, that also mimics that strong jaw that you have. And that means that you will be able to, you have a lot of chi. You have the ability to do, go, a lot of energy. And people that usually have a good amount of wood between the jaw and even the brows, they've got to move their bodies on a regular basis or they kind of feel stagnant. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes.
They get a little bit pent up, like stir crazy if they can't move their body in some fashion, whether it's a walk or actually like working out all the time, stuff like that.
Yes.
When your water kicks in though, water likes to be horizontal. And metal kind of does too. They realize that you need to take the edge off of things. So being horizontal like that, when you're ready and you've checked off all the wood things to do during the day, then you're ready to relax and flow with your life. So
yes.
That's kind of how this works. That's what face reading does and how it tells you about yourself and faults, trials, tribulations, what things you would be up against. The last feature that I would love to point out is you have amazingly beautiful, full, lush lips. And that is a sign that you are very nurturing. It means you're going to nurture your friends. It's going to mean you nurture your family. That plays up with, we talked about your ears. And not only are you a good listener, but then you're going to want to really nurture them. And you probably nurture your clients too. Your space is probably beautiful. You probably have something to welcome them and you treat them like their family.
Yes.
Because you want them to have the most beautiful experience.
Yes.
And so your lips indicate that, but it also would indicate how nice and full they are is that in your home and private life, you will really enjoy family, friends, and food. You will really enjoy those things in life, and those things will bring you great pleasure, and you will feel a devotion. You'll be very centered around food and those kind of events. Like it'll make you happy. Like if there's a gathering and there's food and people, you're good.
Yes.
So
always.
Yeah, that's how that works, and that's kind of the face reading, and that's what I see in your face. Do you have any questions?
Well, no, right now I feel just a little overwhelmed with how accurate everything was. It's so crazy to hear it and to kind of self-recognize through hearing it.
Yeah, and beautiful things. I mean, how it just the elements kind of come together and make you who you are and show, and you may not even know that too. So I'm super grateful to you for being willing to participate in this with me today.